Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Small Success Podcast. And you guys, we are so excited today. We are continuing our series of interviewing local small business owners. But before I introduce my guest, let me introduce myself. I'm Pam Downing. I'm the marketing and operations strategist here at Lindsey Media. And I am so happy to say that I am not alone in the studio today. So, co-host, would you introduce yourself, please?
Hello, everybody. My name is Drew Larison. I am the founder and creative director at Lindsey Media. And as always, thank you for having me.
You're welcome, Drew. Today. You're welcome.
It means a lot.
Really glad you're here. And now I'm going to turn it to my two guests. You guys, we are truly so excited that you're here.
It's a packed studio.
It is
All
a
four
packed
mics
studio.
are being occupied.
I will take a picture of us and post it on the interwebs later today. But would you please introduce yourselves? Tell us who you are.
Hi, I'm Dustin Ogle.
And I'm Lindsey Ogle.
And what do you guys do?
What do?
You know what? That's a loaded question. I realize I just asked. What do you do? What is your small business? Let me start there.
Sure. Well, I have bars, a craft cocktail bar, and we have a nightclub, and we have a salon, and we have a professional products company. We manufacture cosmetic products for salons.
We also have a couple of sites on the internet where we sell goods for salons and also for home decor, too. We do that tamper with that a little bit.
Mm-hmm. So you have a little bit going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little something.
Pretty light schedule.
At the moment.
Yeah.
So you guys are like serial entrepreneurs. Yeah. What was your first small business?
My first one was a bar in 2008. Right before I graduated college.
Great year to start a business.
Oh, the recession was booming. Yeah.
Could not have picked a better time.
Yeah. That's why I chose the alcohol industry, actually, especially in our town. But
people needed a drink.
Yeah.
That's the thing about it, though. Is like people drink when they're unhappy and unemployed, and people drink to celebrate when they're happy and doing well. So it seems like
ways.
It's time to go after,
Yeah.
And we turned an old drag show venue, gay club, into a nightclub, dance club. So
that was in 08.
In 08, yeah.
I went there a lot. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah.
Many of memories I don't remember.
Oh yeah,
we didn't know
you're
each
married. Other. You're married. That's an important note as well.
Yeah, we are married to each other.
Yeah. So in 08, when did you get married?
3 years this October.
Yeah,
okay,
we've been together 9.
Been together 9.
When you started that, did you know him?
No.
So you went to his business and you had no idea who he was.
Absolutely
and
not.
then you ended up marrying him. How about that?
Oh my gosh.
We met at a hippie concert, actually. And,
where we officially met. Yeah, right after I was separated, divorced.
I was the second woman he had ever hit on, and it didn't go as planned. And he's like, I kind of like her vibe.
Yeah,
because I thought he was still with his wife. So I was like, Well, sure. I don't think I can tell you exactly what I said.
It was the worst possible result I could have hoped for, really.
It was great. Yeah. And he was like, that one right there, I'm going to marry her. I want her in my life with her trash mouth. Absolutely.
Okay, I feel like there's parallels between the entrepreneurial journey and the love story journey.
Which, because the last...
Persistence, dedication.
Well, the last podcast we did, actually, Aaron came in.
Yeah.
And we did like a podcast from the spouse of an entrepreneur's perspective. And it was really interesting. And that's one thing you said a lot last time as well.
Yeah.
Because Aaron, I had to ask Aaron out multiple times before she was
There's
ever
parallels
interested.
here.
And like in my head, I'm like, it's the key to the follow-up. I mean, I'm just doing sales and like that's the same type of thing. So there are parallels to the worlds of love and entrepreneurship.
Totally. And in the case of the Ogles, you guys are both entrepreneurs in your own right. So you have a really interesting dynamic. I'd love for you to talk to us about your background and what sparked your interest in being your own boss and starting your own thing and kind of chasing the dream.
Yeah, very cool. I think it sounded like that I started everything when we first started this, but that's not true at all. I'd like to hear from Lindsey about her creative and art side and the salon thing, how that all happened. It was really inspiring for me to be part of it.
Oh, thanks, babe. Yeah. So I had always had jobs where it was like go in, go out, do your work, whatever. And in the particular industry that I'm in and I focus most of my energy on is the salon, the hair salon. And I think that it's, Dustin and I have had many conversations. I don't think it's about, your resources, but your resourcefulness. And there's a difference in that. And, I was working 50, 60 hours a week at a barber shop that no longer exists, but I was underpaid and overworked, and I just did not know what to do. And Dustin, would come and visit me at work, and there was a lot of responsibility there. And I think that, over time, he kind of came up to me and he said, I think you need to start your own. And I'm thinking, absolutely not. Like, no way. And I the first thing that came out of my mouth are all the things that I don't know how to do or that I would be overwhelmed with doing and what I would be nervous of and that I didn't want to screw it up. And basically after stating those 4 million things, it took me like 4 days to get everything out that I didn't know how to do. He was like, I know how to do those things. Okay. I can help you with those things. So I think that, a lot of it for me personally, starting something is that if you do have a certain deal with someone, or if you do have a partner and there's certain responsibilities, I think the biggest factor to starting something is consistently doing the things that you specialize in, that you're good at. Put your strengths, forward every single day. Or you're going to lose a lot of chances, because once we started doing the things that we individually and as a team were good at, then it really opened up a lot of other opportunities. So then it just started kind of, developing and compiling on like to all these different ideas. And then we would expand within those ideas because we were comfortable with the things that we were doing.
Yeah, there's an expression I've said multiple times with our company, and I always say it's why Pam's here, but like hire or outsource for your weaknesses and double down on your strengths.
Yeah.
Like such a huge thing for an entrepreneur to hear, who like the business owner that thinks I have to do everything like you did when you threw that idea at her to start a business. Like, well, I don't know how to do 90% of probably what's in my head what it would take to open a salon. Great. You don't have to. Like, that's the only option. There are more options than you just doing everything. I mean, there's companies you can outsource to. There are people you can hire to do those things. A lot of people have a hard time realizing that. They think business owner, they do everything. And it's in successful businesses, that's in no way true. That doesn't happen.
Well, the other cool thing that I heard you say, Lindsey, is that Dustin kind of called something out in you that maybe you didn't necessarily identify within yourself, but the idea of resourcefulness and like, okay, here's my strengths. I want to lean into those and play into those because that's my lane. And okay, and what are you good at? And seeing how you can work as a team, that is really, really cool.
Back with that too. I'm sorry, babe. Did you want to say something?
I was just going to say our salon is really cool, and that's kind of where it came from. Is when you quit the barber shop and started trying out different things, you had all of these complaints and things, and I was listening over time, like anybody would, but the complaints were like legitimate problems with the market and the industry and the way that it was being done. There was a better way she was creating without realizing she was creating it to do that type of thing, and I was just inspired by that. It was really cool, and still today I think that's why everybody loves your shop so much.
Which is classic starting of a business story. Yeah. It's someone that was inside of an industry, had that moment where they clicked in their heads like, there's got to be a better way. That's why all the best products in the world are created, because it was built out of frustration of how things were being done. And it's that moment you're click like, wait, there's got to be a better way to do this. Yeah. Oh, wait, there is. It's in my head. Just have to have the courage and the bravery to actually implement it.
Yeah, that was really verified, because the idea was to have a 2 to 3 chair little salon to do this thing for her and a couple of people. And immediately people in the industry, other cosmetologists, are just hugely attracted to it. And we had to keep expanding it and adding people. And then the clients loved it so much, adding clients and making room. And it was like, okay, maybe
this is happening.
This is definitely what people really want.
Yeah. Proven by the almighty American dollar.
Yeah.
The dollar vote always wins.
That's my favorite vote.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys are in several different industries, but I don't know if we want to focus on one of the businesses in particular, but I'd love to hear some of the things that are unique to your industry from a small business perspective. Like, what are some of the things you've really had to kind of hustle and grind and scrap to get to the success where you are right now?
Especially things that probably people consumer-wise have no idea.
Yeah.
That it gets done on the business side, so people just assume it's easy to do.
I know what I want you to talk about.
What?
People who are not business owners that are looking to get into business have a rude awakening of the amount of time that it takes to do something so simple.
Okay.
And oftentimes, I'll walk into our office area in Dustin. We'll just be covered in, paperwork, like stacks of paperwork for 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 hours. And it's all the back stuff that I don't even see. Like, I've never seen the light bill. I've never seen the accountant's emails of making sure that we're putting money where we're supposed to and doing, and it makes it super relaxing for me because I love people and I like to deal with people, but I do not like to deal with numbers and paper and computers and technology. Like, shit breaks on me all the time. Like, I'm like, I don't know. How do you go in? Yeah. What's an app? I don't know. Can you help me, please? But I feel like he does such a great job at that, but I don't think that people really understand how much time some of these things take. And that would be the one thing, if I could, open up a window into our home and business, these are the things that you're going to have to expect. And it's not saying people will never understand what we're doing. Like, no, it's just something that if there was something that I could expose to someone who wants to start a business, it would be all the little fine details that you don't realize that you have to do.
Which you harshly learn quickly.
Yeah. That sucks
like if you
so
didn't have,
bad.
the partner like him who's had that experience and like the legal aspects, all of that, you find that out really. And I did that when I started this company. I had the roles, I had every role you could possibly imagine in an agency except that one. Like the finances or like the legal part of it or all of that. So in the first week of starting what was called the Larison Company, I quickly learned all about those things. But like you were saying, however, luckily I had a really great accountant who was insanely patient, insanely knowledgeable, and I outsourced that to them. It took away stress from a guy who had a wife, a kid, and a baby on the way, starting my own business. That took away a little bit of that stress of starting a business, and I just take it. It's yours. I don't know what it is. I trust you. You handle it. And my accountant as well, like extremely great people, but as well, like they had been my dad's accountant, my grandpa's accountant. So I had a lot of trust in that person. Take it. They're the ones that filed for, like the state entities, to make us an actual organization. They're the ones that set up my L's. All that stuff. I handed it off to the accountant. That was amazing because I didn't have to worry about it.
Yeah, it can be that way. It can be any way, though. I think that's the coolest thing about being an entrepreneur is you really get to decide for yourself on what way you want to approach running your business. You can outsource the things that that you don't want to be your biggest approach, or to get back to the essence of the question. I think I got the question. Is that's the big thing that I like about the way that I've evolved to approach running businesses. I'm really intrigued with being in control of it and understanding the bottom line and all the matrix of the numbers, and how that makes its way up to behaviors.
Yeah.
So it's really interesting because being an entrepreneur for me sometimes is interesting. It's like trying to create inspirations and behaviors that eventually turn into numbers. And the numbers kind of tell you how you're doing or what's working or what's not working. And that's how I choose to approach my business, because ultimately you're doing it for the bottom line.
Yeah.
There's a million and one reasons why you're doing it, but ultimately that one is required.
Yeah.
So dig deeper into the word behaviors that you're talking about. Are you talking about behaviors of yourself? Are you talking about inspiring the behaviors of a staff to lead into that? Maybe both?
Yes.
Yes.
all behaviors. I refer to it as a culture. I didn't invent that, but a culture.
Sure. Yeah.
In business is like I view it as my biggest responsibility as a whole. Like you can look at any culture in any society or business, and if you look at it, you know what the results are from it. You know, so you just have to, or at least I choose to view my business as that way. You know, walk in, look at the culture, and see, you know, what kind of results is this culture going to have, you know, numerically.
Sure.
Does that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Sense?
Like one of my biggest
I manage
mentors.
myself, and I manage my employees' behaviors, and I manage my customers' behaviors. And when I say manage, I really mean inspire.
Yeah.
You know,
one of my biggest mentors in like the marketing world owns a huge agency in New York, has clients like Budweiser, like whole different scale, but like $1 million company, hundreds of employees. But he says, I'm the CEO, but my number one job and responsibility is the HR director. Like no matter what is going on in the business, my number one responsibility is the using and finding out the resources I have as humans inside this organization and making sure they're happy, pointing them towards happiness, and making sure they're finding a purpose inside of their job. So like you're doing that at a salon and like restaurants and bars, but like the importance, no matter how big your business is, your HR responsibilities are huge, because what you're saying, that leads down the path towards everything.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, when you're a small business, your business is your people.
Yeah.
So I think,
Word.
Especially like in the salon world, where I mean, you have similar to us, you know, like my staff spends most of their days communicating with our customers and our clients.
Yeah.
You know, but the same thing for you. Like your staff is constantly having, well, in the hairdresser world, for sure, you're talking about everything under the moon. I feel like you're almost therapist at some point sometimes, but like your people are the number one representation of your business in your world. So, I mean, it's huge.
Yeah, that's really true in every business. I mean, customers don't ever get, you know, most of them don't get to just get your vision of your company directly from you. You know, they all get your vision of it from what your people are doing.
I would even say if they were, something's wrong. Like if they're only seeing the vision for your business from the owner, like something's not right.
Really small business.
Yeah. Or, I mean, maybe you have the vision in your head, and whenever your customers interact with you, they see it. But if you haven't pitched it well to your team and your staff, and they're not pushing it out there, then that's a huge issue, because you haven't sold your vision well enough, you know?
Well, and you're right about like this culture shaping idea, because the customer experience, and the customers are the one who pay the money, right? Like everything matters. The way your small business it smells, the way it feels. Is it too hot? Is it too cold? How are they being treated? How are they, like all of those things factor in.
Yeah.
And it can feel like a lot of pressure, but an amazing opportunity for an entrepreneur to really be mindful about all of those pieces. And then it comes back to people. Way more important than temperature or.
Well, you get vibes. I mean, vibes are a huge thing in the business world. Like if you put out great vibes to your staff, those vibes will continue from your staff to your customers. But I mean, if you don't, and that boss employee relationship is rocky, guaranteed, especially in your world, especially in our world, the customer is going to feel that, you know, from that vibe that person's going to put off. If they're doing work for your business and the vibe isn't great there, the customer is going to feel that as well. Through like, you know, conversation or through the work, that they're going to feel that. They're going to feel that bad vibe going on. So it's extremely important.
Absolutely. That just reminded me of a really important tip that other entrepreneurs might really like that I got a long time ago, was to really go after commitment from people instead of compliance.
That's good.
Yeah, that always comes up, and it really makes a difference. Of course, if you're running like a box packing factory, then compliance probably works.
It's very important.
You know,
I
mean, you could still really get people, you know, hype about packing the boxes, but the result won't change that much. But most industries in our culture, in our country now, aren't necessarily manufacturing. So really going after that commitment, which sounds easy when you say it like that, but it's a difficult thing to do.
And that happens, I feel like, in the vision pitch from the owner to the employee. You know, so I have a buddy who owns a cleaning business. And it's so easy to look at the cleaning industry as simply as you're an employee. Like I go into places and I pick up people's messes and like I scrub down some things and clean things. But like through conversations with him and like trying to find the deeper why of a cleaning company, especially the residential side, so huge. I mean, you literally, the reason people are hiring a cleaning company, the number one reason probably we figured out is that they need help. They need help running their lives. And and this is what, we've ended up pitching to his team, not we, but like through conversations with him, he ended up pitching his teams like, guys, we're not a cleaning company. We're making families' lives better. Like that's what our actual product and service is. Yeah. And when you do that, that changes it. Cause you're like, I don't know, somebody packing boxes. What are you packing boxes with? Is it a little boy's toy? And you're like, you pitch the boy's face when he opens that box. That toy, like that's what we do.
You sound just like Lindsey in the salon.
Absolutely. That's exactly. I'm like, am I talking or is it Drew? I don't even know. I think we're twins.
No, yeah. You and I have had conversations in the past about just like the mental health of doing someone's hair. And you've seen, you told me you've seen people come into the salon and like you can see depression in their hair. Like the way they come in, you've told me certain situations, but like you can tell a person's vibe, mental health by what their hair looks like when they come, especially on the female side, you've told me. And you can literally change someone's entire outlook on their day and like the next few days or however often they get their hair done by doing that. You're not just cutting scissors or cutting hair with scissors and throwing some, chemicals in there to make the hair look a different color. You're literally having the opportunity to change someone's outlook on their life.
Right. And attached to that, that's exactly why we started our product line too, is because, people are smothering themselves with all of these chemicals and, it just, what are we washing our children with? What are we, like it's the same kind of the vibration and the energy that you kind of feel off of people and their emotions and whatever. I think we kind of got together and thought, let's do something super amazing with this because people are actually coating themselves. It's their armor. It's the things that they go through their day with. How are they, wanting to feel that day? And I think that's one of the biggest reasons why, what you had just said is why we started our product line too.
Which we're going to put a link to their product websites in the description of this podcast because the smell is amazing of all the things you create. And somebody in our office, when they got their hair done, I don't know, a week ago. Yeah. And like she comes back to the office, I'm like, you've been at Fade, haven't you? Like you smell and it's so good. And it's just, but like you smell is a huge thing in general, like to our overall mood and everything like that. So the products you're making, people will smell that all day. Trust me, it lasts all day. It is amazing. Good. And that product is changing people's moods just by like having that clean, healthy smell that isn't just chemicals, that some other products might have.
Yeah, well, Lindsey pointed out to me. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, she pointed out to me several times before it really sank in, and it's become a big part of my life. And those two businesses is that there's a really deep-seated, evolutionary primitive thing about self-grooming and grooming other people. It's a big part of the important experience and what we're doing.
Development of culture.
Yeah, more than just vanity and
it's a service. I mean, like in the Bible, they talk about washing people's feet is like the ultimate sign of respect, like type of thing.
Yeah.
What you're doing is like the ultimate sign of respect.
We love feet. We love to wash them. Let us wash your feet.
But like you have to have that attitude of like, I want to serve you to help you at wherever you're at in your head. To maybe it is wash your hair, or cut your hair or give you a different style that's giving you more confidence. Whatever it is, you have that feet washing mentality.
Yeah, the media kind of pisses me off with that because I feel like with a lot of cosmetologists or hairdressers or beauticians or whatever you want to call us.
What do you prefer?
Yeah, I just say stylist.
Okay,
I don't know.
Gotcha.
I don't know. I think that's kind of like the hashtag trending.
Sure.
But I feel like the media represents, us as these like ditzy, dumb, flaky
beauty school dropouts.
Yeah.
Thanks, Grease.
I'm like, yeah.
Started there.
Thanks a lot, Frenchie, you jerks. No, but yeah, it's just like, it depends on, and that's with any business or any employment or any management, whatever you're doing. It's not just in the industry that I'm in, but like, it's how you view yourself and how like the steps that you're willing to take to, kung fu the hell out of your craft, I think that really is it. Like, the representation or the stereotype that they put on people like myself and the people I work with, like if a lot of those people who are, writing these movies or stories or whatever would come in for a day, you would see that it is so emotionally, it's not physically a hard job, but emotionally, just because if you're an empath, which I believe that I am, and a lot of people who choose to be in this industry are, you really take it in, and it's one of those, you have to be a strong individual, because it's not just about creating something that doesn't exist on someone, and the deciding factor of whether someone likes it is truly like 100% opinion based. Yeah. Like I could technically do the best thing on the planet that looks exactly like the inspiration or the picture they're provided. But if they don't like it, then I'm junk.
Yeah.
Sure.
Like, dang it. It actually looks just like it, but if you don't like it, now I suck. It's like,
I never really thought about that.
Yeah, you're creating something that doesn't exist.
Yeah.
With high expectations.
Yeah. It's like, and then you've got all these filters. Thanks a lot, Instagram and stuff.
Yeah.
You're like,
thanks
for putting the neon filter
Frenchie
on
and
that.
Instagram.
Yeah.
Can you
Worst.
copy this photoshopped image on my head?
Yeah.
Oh, also, I'd like my face to lose 17 pounds in this process, too. Great. Yeah, okay, sure.
Yes.
Really, that's so interesting. I've never thought about that. Your industry as like you are a hardcore human service industry, and not just like what you do to your hair, but like mentally what you do for people. Like I can't stop thinking about like the whole foot washing thing. Like the ultimate sign of like honor and service to someone is like pick up, especially in Bible times, they all wore sandals. So everybody's feet was just nasty, So like, that's why it's like, it's just, they're filthy, everything. So like you guys do that. And you got to think, if you want to be in that salon industry, you have to have a servant's heart. Because if you don't, and you're just doing it for yourself and the money, it's exhausting mentally, and you're just going to burn out. I imagine.
Yeah. Well, it's the same thing with the bars too. I think, don't you think it's like, hey, do you want to sign up for a 9-hour shift of babysitting adults that act like children? Absolutely. Let's go.
Sign me up.
It's
God,
exactly
let's do it twice. Let's do a craft bar and a nightclub. Let's do it 2 times.
Right.
Be great.
The big nightclub is the real trick, though.
Oh my
for
God.
punishment, you are.
5,000 people at a time. They're just like children.
an
You're just
expo.
trying to really keep them, entertained and having fun, and stop them from puking everywhere and hitting each other, just like
No
kids.
hitting. Stop.
Right, which is really fun, by the way. It sounds
No
weird to
hitting.
say it like that.
That's funny.
It's like babysitting
It's like
really
Yeah.
strong
Time
children.
out. Nose against the wall.
Yes. My toddler, I swear, is me when I'm drunk all the time. She's like, oh, well, blah, blah, blah.
Toddlers are
oh
drunk.
My gosh.
They are drunk
little drunk
humans.
adults.
It's amazing.
Oh.
Yeah.
Like, I see so many reflections of me inside of you right now, but usually I'm wasted.
Yeah. You're just you. This is
I
just
want the crackers. Get her the crackers. She's freaking out, everybody.
yeah.
Yeah. So bars are fun too. I suggest definitely get as many bars as you can and sign up for that.
I fell down the hole of like the bar rescue TV show, like YouTube clips around a few weeks ago, and I'm just like, this is amazing. This is what it is.
Amazing is one word. It is what it is.
And thinking of like the opinion-based feedback, I've never really thought about that with hair, because you're right. What my opinion of how my hair looks at the end of an appointment is drastically different from what Bailey thinks her. That's probably same with drinks. What's the best drink to one person?
Yeah.
The other person's going to send back.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, people.
I want something cheap and
They're the-
strong. Can you make me one of those?
The bar is the best place to see that in action, because people come up to a bar and they say, "Oh, can you make me a really good drink?"
What does that mean?
Well, yes, I could.
Yeah.
So you get to have this discovery with people, and you get to know them. And if any bartender, bar owner, bar manager could tell you with certainty that we remember people and their personalities by what they drink.
Yeah.
There's just a deep.
There's Jerry
connection
Gin and
that we make
Tonic.
there.
Okay. Hey, Jerry Gin and Tonic. How you doing? I know him.
We're discovering
2
things
limes.
about them.
His name's not actually Jerry, but he just did it for the narration.
Yeah.
He likes 2 limes with some salt. Throw it over your left shoulder. He loves that. how I remember people.
That's so, I've never thought about that. But both the two industries you guys are in the most are very similar. And like the attitude of the personal aspect between the company and the customer. Very similar.
I guess they are. Yeah. I never really thought of it like
Look at this.
I feel like
Discovery's happening here.
We're the Goonies.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to know what to do at work tomorrow.
I feel like to add on to the bar thing, I feel like Dustin is like, I don't know if you've seen that movie where it's like the cooler and he goes into Vegas and he like calms the tables down when people are hitting hot streaks and stuff. Dustin is the cooler of the club and bar industry. He just makes everyone calm.
That's very intentional.
Yeah.
Controlling the culture of my clients.
It's liability.
I'm getting him on top of the bar like, let's all just do handstands on the bar while it's wet. And Dustin's like, everyone needs to calm down a little bit. I'm like, let's pump this party up.
Yin and yang, folks.
In a place where everybody's reacting to everything as hard as they can. I feel like there always needs to be one person there that isn't reacting, is making decisions.
Yeah.
Calm the mood.
Yeah.
That's good. So thinking about your entrepreneurial journey, what are some of the challenges and what have you learned from those challenges?
Oh, man.
And this can be any business, any point in your journey along the way.
That's a really, really good question that we've had a chance to think about a lot. You know, I've done a lot of businesses, sold some, closed some, restarted some in the same industry. So we get a chance to think about that over and over. You know, learning from the past is about the only thing it's good for, in my opinion. Oh, which one, you know? I think a really important one is to take responsibility for your business. That's what, you know, you become an entrepreneur because you want to be responsible for your own destiny, right? So you have to take responsibility for every aspect of your business. It doesn't mean you have to do every aspect of your business, but you do need to know about it. And you do need to take responsibility of it. I meet a lot of people in business that ask me, like, what's the secrets of this and that, you know? And they're in the same breath, they're talking about how, you know, their accountant let them down, or their, you know, social media marketing person isn't doing this or that, or they failed at this because this person didn't do that. Like, that doesn't work.
Yeah.
It's because of you. It's because of me.
Yeah.
Ultimately, if you stop thinking it's because of me, whether it be success or failure, it's going to be a really rough road.
I've said that in a podcast before with my attitude's the same. If somebody entirely screws up something here, it's on me. Like every success,
It's
every
because
failure.
of you too.
It's
one way or another.
There's something I could have done to prevent that. Whether it was 2 years ago or 2 days ago. Like in my head, there's something I could have done to help prevent that screw up. But however, we also talk about failure a lot in this podcast, and how important it is to like have awareness that failure has happened and why it happened, and then get up as quickly as possible you can, and then keep going and learn from it.
Don't let taking responsibility make fear for you. I mean, you have to take risks and fail, and you have to let all the bad shit happen, because that's the path to all the good stuff.
Yeah. Well, the great thing about like challenges and failure, or whatever we're calling it, is it's something all small business owners and entrepreneurs can identify with. And that's what makes entrepreneurs and small business owners kind of a special breed of people, because you get back up, you keep grinding, you keep hustling, you use those experiences as opportunities to learn and get better and take it to the next level, and you make more risks.
That's so true. I feel like a lot of people think that doing this whole thing is like, for example, throwing like a stone into the water, you know? And the reality of doing this thing is more like moving a giant boulder up a hill. Like you can't let go. You have to get some momentum. Eventually you'll get over the apex, and hopefully the thing can roll down on its own in a big way. But
until it hits another mountain, you have to do it all over again.
Yeah, right. That's true. A bigger one, but that's how it is. If you can't be an entrepreneur for 3 weeks and not for 4 in a row after that, and then
consistency.
You have to have some grind and consistency and a clear vision and a goal.
It blows my mind to have the thought of, because we've been a little over 4 years, Larison Media, and like the thought of me ever not being an owner again, I can't even think about it. Like, it blows my mind in a way that like I don't even know what it would look like because I've jumped off the cliff and like there's just the fact of climbing back up and going back just is so weird.
I say all the time, I wish I miss punching or I miss clocking out, but at the same time I can never clock back in.
Yeah,
I can never do it.
Yeah.
Okay, so kind of flipping this question on its head, what are some of the successes that you've experienced over the years as entrepreneurs? And when you have a success in your business, how do you celebrate that success?
You want to take this one, babe?
Go ahead.
Oh, that is a really good question. You know, how do you view success is kind of the essence of that question. It's hard
That's what I was
to measure.
like.
Yeah.
A lot of people jump in and think, wow, you know, make a bunch of money is success. And I've done that before. And that was actually probably one of the worst times of my life in entrepreneurship when I was making the most. Made me really kind of re-question some things. And those that know anything about my collection of businesses that we have, that plan knows now that probably the overall size right now is about half of where it was a while back, which is fantastic, by the way. Yeah, and that's really the thing is money isn't enough. That's not success. I can tell you that for certain. That's not really an opinion. You'll learn that if you haven't yet. For me, the most successful things I see is like we talked about earlier, when we're doing something fulfilling and rewarding, just not for us and our clients, but also our staff. When it all kind of comes together like that and you make like a big impact in your community in a good way, and I mean like a comprehensive way where everyone's successful in it. The clients are successful in spending their money on something they really feel like they got an awesome value for. Your staff is successful in collecting an amount of money for the craft they're doing that they feel like is a good amount. And then the business also retains enough of that to their bottom line to where it feels like it has made enough money to accomplish that task. Like comprehensively, when it's all a win-win, I feel like that's a huge success, especially when it impacts the community positively.
Nailed it. Exactly. It's just,
That's
you're taking the words out of my brain and my soul. You're saying it into that microphone so sweetly.
You two are one.
Yeah. Do you want 5 minutes of uninterrupted eye contact? Because you nailed it.
Sure.
How about celebrating that success?
Yeah, that was the hardest question on that I was going to avoid. Maybe I'll just have Lindsey.
I was making weird eye contact with Drew and laughing. What was the question? Because we had a moment. For a minute.
Celebrating the
the
success that you found.
Maybe we have.
She does it by, I guess, handstands on a bar.
Yeah.
Like, that's how she celebrates
okay.
it.
It seems like we like high five each other for 3 seconds, and then we're like, how can we make this bigger?
Yeah.
You know, how can we make more work?
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
The what's next attitude. Yeah.
I suppose there has been a few times where we just kind of said, damn, we did that pretty good.
Yeah.
We took a week and a half. Usually we'll take like a vacation.
I like to refer to myself as Michael Jackson's nose, where I just never think that it's good enough. So I'm constantly making my nose smaller. That's how I live my business life, is Michael Jackson's nose. I almost got a tattoo of his actual nose from beginning, like all the phases, because I feel like that's me. Like I could do like a million amazing things and Dustin could just rule over the entire year. And I'll be like, you know what, we could have done better. Yeah. You know what I mean? That was Michael Jackson's nose.
That's such a
That is
great
the most
and
amazing analogy.
borderline could be.
Genius or insane.
Yeah.
Well, it's like you're never fully
what's
satisfied.
the difference?
Yeah.
Well, it's like
You
you have a hard time fully being satisfied.
That is, you just nailed our actual true business plan.
Yeah.
Our vision.
Which is a great and sometimes could be unhealthy, scary thing.
Insatiable.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. He calls me that like maybe once a day.
Yeah.
Twice.
Not always referring to business.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know where you went with that.
I was thinking like sexually. I'm like, I think you're amazing. I don't know what you're talking about. Maybe it was me. I thought it was my end. Like, maybe I should do better. Michael Jackson's vagina. Like, not good enough.
So
Did I make it weird?
No,
Sorry.
we're good.
Okay, cool. I said
It's
Michael
not the
Jackson's
first time
vagina.
Michael Jackson vagina has been said on the podcast. You're fine.
I
Yeah.
have
Cool.
no complaints, but
Good.
I'm not going to stop you from trying harder.
Yeah.
So thinking about other small business owners, or maybe they're not a small business owner yet, what are some of your like pro tips? What's some advice you can give?
Don't do it. No. Run away.
Stay clear of the cliff. Don't jump.
If it gets getting hot, it means it's hell. No.
No, the opposite, man. Go for it.
Yeah.
Most people want to work everything out before they jump.
Yeah.
Well, it's what you did. When you brought up the idea of her starting the business,
Yeah.
she thought
Yeah.
of every reason to not.
The only thing you have to work out is that you can be resourceful enough and do enough research and be willing to work for what you want. That's the only thing you have to work out. You got that? Just go.
And stay organized. Like, know your stuff. Because I am not an organized person. And if you're not an organized person, you need to find one that is a responsible, consistent human being. So then the bombing of your ideas and craziness has some grounding to it. So, yeah.
Or hire somebody.
Or hire someone. Yeah. That can do it for you. Because I feel like I have a million ideas. And, you know, what's funny is that, you know, the building that we actually live in now and then run the shop out of was a harebrained idea with a walk down. I said, I found this place. It's amazing. And he was thinking, oh my gosh. I said, it's right next to here. You know, some things might pop off, you know, because, you know, at the time.
It was an abandoned building in the middle of an
Yeah.
abandoned district that was in foreclosure.
Thanks for clarifying.
Tumbleweeds just drifting about. I'm like, we need this place. This is
this
great.
place.
Yeah.
Yeah, her vision was so bright and colorful that it just exuded into me, and you know.
And now it's a hot spot.
Yeah, it came
Chicka
true.
wow
Just
wow.
almost exactly as she
Yeah.
imagined it. That is the happening street now.
And still
It really
keeps
is.
getting better and better. Yeah.
So you have to be a little insane, a little innovative
do.
and creative. And then
In the
you
words
have
of Kanye West,
Yeah.
name one genius that ain't crazy.
yeah.
It's true.
Kanye said that?
Oh, yeah.
It's pretty deep for him, I think. Like, good job.
He's a wordsmith. Yeah.
He is wordsmith.
See something. So I enjoy a little Kanye every now and then.
It's also the first time Yeezy's got a shout out on this podcast.
I'm
There you go.
surprised because
Yeah.
Drew has a gold framed Kanye tweet in his office. You'll have to see.
I'll show it
Really?
to you before I leave.
Okay.
Yeah, shout out to frametweets.com. It's one of my favorite websites. And that tweet in a frame is one of my most prized possessions. I love it so
Actually,
much.
be a great podcast sponsor. Just
Yeah.
a little sidebar.
It's amazing. We'll show it to
Kanye?
you. Oh, yeah.
He would sponsor, I think.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he can,
Kanye would be
call
an
him
even
up.
better sponsor.
I'll text him.
Frametweets.com. Got it. On it. I'll schedule him. I'll
Yeah,
schedule a
good,
phone
yeah.
call.
Pencil it in.
Hey, make that happen.
Okay, so you guys, we ask every small business owner who is a guest on this podcast this question, and we've gotten answers all across the board. Your answer could be silly, it could be serious, it could be life-changing for our listeners, or it could just be something really fun that you're thinking of on the spot. What is a small thing that you do every day that contributes to your success? And I'll ask you this as individuals. So let's go with Lindsey first. Lindsey, what's one small thing you do every day that contributes to your success? Could be your personal success, could be your business success.
I would probably say to remind and tell myself that it's enough. The things, you know, you're constantly searching and trying to appease everyone. You want everyone to be happy. And I think just kind of knowing that, and I think it was Dita Von Teese that said it, but she said you can be the juiciest, ripest peach, you know, ever. There's going to be someone out there that doesn't like peaches. So to me, like, I think to myself, you know, well, why? I want everyone to love everything that I do, and I want everyone to be happy. And you kind of have to realize that you're not going to make everybody happy, but you're going to make some people life-changingly happy.
That's awesome.
And that has to be enough for the day, you know? And so if you live every day saying, okay, I'm going to do this, 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 and this, and that's enough for today. Because, I mean, I would not sleep. I would not eat. I mean, there have been points where I get so much worry of, you know, people not liking something or the opportunity that they won't, you know, upcomingly they might not like this or the things I say or I do. And I'm a very strange individual. I think that we've accomplished that in this podcast today, that, you know, I'm not everybody's cup of tea and I'm not everybody's peach. And some people may be allergic to peaches and tea. or peach tea if you want to add it together.
Oh,
And that's okay.
Peach tea.
Yeah, I do.
Just so you know.
I enjoy a peach tea. But I have to remind myself that it's okay. And I would say if you are going to start a business, different is what works. And that's what people like, because people don't want the same of everything. Mm-hmm. And even if you don't think, well, is this idea worthy enough? Just know that it is, as long as that's your heart and your spirit is in it. I think you put all your energy into it. And you don't have to be educated.
Good.
I love saying that, because I think
you mean
that
like formally educated.
Formally educated.
yeah.
If
You got to learn about what you're doing.
Yeah. Like, you need to be experienced and you need to be educated on the craft or the thing that you want to provide. But it's oftentimes I think to myself, well, I don't have a college education. I don't know what I'm talking about. But because I don't have those things, I have to make up for it in different ways. And I think that once you kind of realize, I can do this, it might not be as easy, or I might not understand everything to it. But if there's a will, there's a way. So I know that was long and I rambled.
That was good.
Thank
you.
Yeah.
That's good. It was interesting.
It's a good one. It's a good one.
I thought it was really interesting because that's what I was thinking. Like, the thing that I do is like self-control or self-influence too. The weird thing I do is I talk to myself in the shower.
It's good.
Yeah,
It's a good place to do
when
that.
I wake up, that's probably the best place people don't
Some of the
see me.
best ideas in the world
Only-
came out of shower thoughts, probably.
Right, yeah. No, I don't mean I really talk to myself, but that's true. Really the only person you have control over is yourself. Everyone else in your business that you come in contact with, you have influence over. The only way I can influence anybody is if I have some sort of control over myself. So I remind myself every morning when I start something, some, basic mantra or idea or just, concept, like, all right, man, like, this is what we're doing. Don't get distracted by everything in the world and other people want you to be distracted by. This is what we're doing today. Every time I need to restart today, this is where I'm coming back to.
Love it.
I feel like my answer was a lot longer than yours. I'm sorry.
Why did you apologize? Hey,
You're so,
quit
like-
thinking, quit caring about what we think.
Maybe people
about
will
your
like my
answer.
peach talk.
Your peach talk was
Peach
great.
tea.
It's because I'm
Cut that
formally
out.
educated.
It's because you're formally educated and I'm just a big dumbass. Hi, everybody.
Yeah, but
It's
nobody
the
likes-
Ogles.
nobody likes to hear
Lindsey's
me
drooling
talk.
again.
Everybody likes to hear
Dustin's
you talk.
putting a bib on her. She's drooling all over herself. She just pissed herself. Oh, great. Put the diaper. Get the diaper.
Again?
You guys, any last tips, tricks, any final thoughts, anything that you feel like has been unsaid that you would like to say? This is your space.
O'Doyle rules.
Don't say pissed your pants on podcasts.
Yeah. Pro tip.
Oh, it's very professional, and this concludes our professional business meeting with Ogles. No.
Oh man, live in the right now with your business.
Yeah.
Don't waste any time thinking about the past or the future. But if you think about the past just to learn from something, if you think about the future just to envision something much bigger than you are right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's good. You guys, I am so glad that you came on our podcast today. Seriously, thank you so much. This has been awesome. I feel like other small business owners are going to have some really good takeaways. Drew,
This
final thoughts?
This went exactly how I would wanted it to go.
Yeah,
Because one of my favorite things, you guys have, I've known you for probably longer than you wish. Actually, I don't probably told you this. When you were at that barbershop that you were really depressed at, like, you cut my hair. Like,
Well, good.
I was in
Really?
high school. Yeah, I remember you.
Oh my gosh.
And then where you're at now. But one of my favorite things about you guys being in our local small business community, more than probably anyone else, you are unapologetically yourself as business owners. And I love that about you
thanks,
guys.
man. That's good
I feel like there's a lot of people locally that I don't know who they actually are. I know who they are through their business, but I could go into any business that you have and fully know who you actually are as people. And that's something that I think is missed out on a lot of people. But with you, that's fully present. And I've always really appreciated that.
Oh, cool.
True.
Well, and that speaks to your
Also,
success
I
and
need
your
to schedule a
leadership and the
haircut.
culture. Yeah, can we get Drew in for a haircut?
A little shaggy right now.
Thanks for having us, guys.
Absolutely.
This was a
Thanks
lot
for
of
coming
fun.
on. I
Yeah,
appreciate it.
we're really glad you guys were here. And Small Business Success Podcast community, I will have all the links that we mentioned. I will have links to all things Ogle businesses, and maybe some fun pictures.
A good peach tea
insiders.
recipe, maybe.
Yeah, good peach tea.
Yeah, I will link my favorite peach tea. I'll find out Lindsay's favorite peach tea
There you
and
go.
link to it.
Sweet.
Thank you so much for joining us on this episode of the Small Success Podcast. We will see you next time.